Morning guys, happy Sunday and happy Mother's Day to all the beautiful mothers out there. Now today I'm going to talk about the reverse diet. Okay, a lot of people are coming off comps at the moment. Now the name reverse diet, call it what you wish. Everyone seems to get stroppy about everything these days. So I'm basically call it what you like. All I'm saying is post-show, post-diet, should we increase calories slowly? Should we go back to maintenance or should we just go immediately into a surplus and start recovering? Well, I'm going to give you plenty of examples and I'm going to give you reasons to use basically all three. Now, years and years ago, it was very renowned that we'd try and finish a show. Many people would blow out, put on 10, 12 plus kilos in the space of a week or two. Very, very common. Then things changed and all of a sudden people started understanding about post-show we need to increase calories very slowly. And then what we have found that increasing calories too slowly is probably more inclined to make people binge. So while they're increasing calories slowly, they're binging. So now they're actually putting on weight but the calories are slow. So there's all these different little scenarios. Now I'll give you a couple of little examples to break it all down to make it nice and simple, because I love to work nice and simple, okay, because simple works. Now I'll use myself as an example that's just come off 20 odd weeks of dieting. Now I finished my weight, I was around 74 kilo thereabouts. Today I'm about just under 80, so I've put on about 6.5 kilo in exactly 2 weeks. For me, that's actually, that's great, that's fine. What I did was, in the past, I have reversed very slowly. So let's say as an example, again, I finished on 2,000 calories. I might have bumped up to maybe 2,300, 400, and then slowly increased maybe 100 calories thereabouts a week. I won't get too technical, but that's a little prime example. This time I decided not to. This time I decided to go from 2,000 and actually hit it straight up to around that 2,700 mark. The reason I did so was I actually felt quite good after my shows and I wanted to get straight into muscle building. I wanted to get straight into recovery and I wanted to get my hormone levels, thyroid, metabolism, everything back to square one as quick as I can. Why? Because I'm busy, I want to start building. It's coming into winter as well, so it's not going to worry if I carry a couple of kilos of extra layer of body fat either. However, the body fat's going to make me also feel a lot better in that as well. So that in that case, that's what I've decided to do. However, on the other spectrum of the scale, there are people out there that generally post-show want to stay lean. Most people don't want to lose the body that they've just worked for 20 plus weeks to get. They do not want to lose it in a week or two. So that aspect, as a coach, what I would do, I would be taking that into consideration as well. So I've got clients divided here. And the reason why I divide them according to their goal. Now, if I've got a client that I know is an adamant tracker, they track their food religiously. Pardon me. They track their food religiously. Now, that person I reckon would suit the nice slow reverse because they're always strict. They know no other, and that's fine. So let's say, for example, they finish on 100 carbs. Okay, she's a figure girl, fitness bikini, whatever it might be. I might bring them straight up to maybe around that 150 carbs, but what I'd say, I'd probably say, let's not track our greens. That'll be just starch carbs. All of a sudden they've gained 50 carbs plus additional, but I'd really say up their greens, okay? And that's gonna help satisfy them as well. Now that type of person would suit the slow reverse easily. Now, let's go on the other scale. Let's go on the general public here, okay? Because this is the category most people are gonna fall in on. Let's say you've just finished show and you are known to have a history of, let's say, some sort of eating disorder, binging, and you've done your show, you've got there, you might have fought your way there, but you've got there. So you are in that danger zone of that 2-3 weeks post-show. So this type of person, I would really have a chat to them and let them understand, look, if you finished on example, I'll just use that 100 carbs again. And if I'm going to reverse them slowly, and I might have to be a little bit more conservative and put them on 120, 130 carbs, bring fats up to somewhere, they might have finished on 35 grams a day or 40 or something. I might bring that up to maybe 50 thereabouts. And I'll start it there, and again, I'll make them not track greens and try to eat an abundance of that to try to fill up, I should say. Now, that's, if you break it down into calorie-wise, it's probably only going to be like 100 calories, if that, to be very honest. Now, someone that's been dieting for 20 weeks or 40 weeks or 30, depends on what their journey is, that's not very much. Now, the worst thing I reckon someone can do in a reverse diet, and this is the most important, crucial point I can give to anyone. If you were, let's say you finish on 1,300 calories and you just jack it up to say 1,500 calories, someone that's just been dieting for a long time, that is not that much. I know there has to be some control post-show, but it's still not that much. Now, what that person will be inclined to do is, while them calories are still relatively low, they are going to binge. Let's be realistic. I don't care who you are. There will be people that will binge. Now, once your calories are low and then you start binging, that's when the weight's going to come on automatically, and a lot of weight. And then all of a sudden they'll pull it back for a day, and then all of a sudden they might binge again. Then all of a sudden the kilos are piling on, but they're stuck at 1,500 calories. They're in trouble. Okay, so back to my first point, what I said about myself, whereas if I get myself back up to a maintenance stroke surplus ASAP as soon as possible, that between 2,000, 2,700, 800 calories, that's comfortable. You know, if I'm going to go over that, I am being silly and I am binging and engorging what I shouldn't be doing. I've had one meal out in a fortnight so far, and that was only steak and chips, that's it. So while I've been eating an abundance of more food, it's just been clean food. So whilst weight's gone on, but I still haven't lost 6-pack, 8-pack, line in legs. Everything's still there. I'm still being, and that will increase again. Next week I'll probably go up by another few hundred calories as well. So I'm almost, within a fortnight, I'm almost actually out of the danger zone. To a degree, because my calories are going to be around 3,000 next week, and I'm only really, 5.5 kilos, 6 at tops up. So it's not a bad position to be in. But if you're going to be very low calories and you're reversing excessively slow, and you are binging on top of that, you're better off getting the calories up a little bit quicker, something that you can sustain, and then just grind out that couple of weeks, and maybe have a little free meal on the weekend or thereabouts. Okay, so the reverse, it really comes down to the individual. A coach is really going to have to determine which individuals they think can get straight into say, at least a maintenance area where they've got an acceptable amount of food, but they're not going to put too much weight on. Whereas if you go reverse too slow and someone's going to do it multiple binges on top of that, all of a sudden they put on, if a female puts on 5 kilo in a week, don't laugh, it's very, very, very common, but the calories are still super low. Let's be realistic, they're going to probably do the same next week potentially. Then all of a sudden they're 7 kilos on, and they're still only 300 grams up from where they finished their diet. So they're too low. So the key in my mind is trying to get out of that danger zone as quick as you can without piling on the weight. And that's an art for a coach to do. So, but there's a lot of good coaches out now, and education's out there. But just in my reasoning, what I've found over the years is that I've had a lot of success with clients reversing very slowly. I've got a lot of dedicated athletes, but I've also got a few that I've found, and I'm going to take the responsibility from this. I've learned from that, whereas they did put a little bit of weight on because my reverse was very slow, and I should have understood what that type of person, more than like I should have read between the lines. It was my job to sort of read, what's this person going to do post-show? Are they more than likely going to constantly binge? Do I need to get their food up as quick as possible into maintenance? Or can I just take my time with them? Genuinely, for me, I find it's about probably 70% I can reverse them at a slow to moderate pace, not too slow, but there's another percentage where I've just got to go, you know what, I need to get them out of this danger zone before they're stuck on 1,300, 14, 1,500 calories and they're 10 kilos up. Again, don't laugh, because that's very, very, very common. The best thing you can do is having your food up. You might sacrifice 3-4 kilos. You might look a little bit soft for, 2, 3, 4 weeks, but the body will settle down. It will adapt to all that. And again, you've got the luxury at the moment, you're coming into winter, okay? So you carry a couple of extra layers. That's okay, because your calories are high. You have something to cut back from. But in saying that, while I'm saying maintenance, where it'd be a maintenance level for, everyone's maintenance will change, okay? Your maintenance won't be the maintenance now that it was before you started your diet. Let's say your maintenance, you were holding your weight at 2,500 calories as an example. Your maintenance now could be 1,700 calories, obviously, where your weight will be stable. It's hard, it's impossible to say. It's a playing game, okay? It's a basically week to week structure. And I advise people out there, when they are with their coaches and they have finished their show, don't go walkabouts, don't sack your coach, or get rid of your coach straight away, because the accountability, in my mind, is what's going to keep people in check. So, guys, there we have it. There's the reverse, or whatever name you want to call it. I know it's gone for longer than I would like. I could probably talk about half an hour on the topic, but the point of trying to get to is the coach has to identify which clients they can reverse slowly, which clients they need to get out of the danger zone as soon as possible. Now, there is no right or wrong on this. So I don't want a whole heap of comments at the bottom from people saying, but. That's just my take. Ask another coach, they're going to give you their opinion. I'm just talking on 17 years of experience, what I've seen. The reverse tide on several people works amazing, and I've done it, and I've been there, and it's worked a treat. I'm just realizing for this day and age, there's so many bikini and fitness divisions there. People are on long journeys. They've been dieting for 12 months because they're losing 20, 30 kilos, which is amazing. That person, when you take the ball and chain off, okay, so to speak, they are going to be inclined to sort of let a little bit loose. So that's what I'm trying to say. Most bodybuilders, seasoned bodybuilders, if they've got a show coming up in 12 months, 6 months, well, the reverse has to be slow, plain and simple. But you've got no goals in the next 2 years to compete, or you could be a little bit more aggressive just to get that metabolism, hormones back to square one. Your adrenal glands, you want to make sure they're on point as well, because the last thing you want is them suppressed. There's nothing worse than a few weeks after post-show you're feeling very flat. Guys, there we have it. I'm so sorry it's gone too long. Again, have a great day. Be a little bit of a double bicep because it's been a long time. Okay, there we have it. Happy days.